All right, so we got to build some sills. I've been putting that off basically since I cut the entire floor out of this thing because it just looked like a disaster area. I did do the trunk that made the back part nice, but really right now the whole front of the car shifts and moves every time you open and close a door. The front one doesn't really open and close all that well, so I know that the body is sagging, so I need to tighten that up and I need to put some structure in there. So we're going to build some stills, some rocker panel, something like that, so that we can hold the front of the body stable, maybe put some cross bracing in for the subfloor up front. I'm not going to finalize that though, because I know I need to move the drivetrain back. So there's a lot going on, but for right now, what we need to work on is getting some sills in there. So that's going to be this week's project. So better start working, not wasting any more time. All right, so here's the car as it sets, and it looks like everything lines up pretty well. But for right now, let me show you this. What I got in here, I have a ratchet strap. You can see it's going from the front of the car to the B pillar here, and that's because the front of the car is just kind of sagging right in the middle because, well, you know, that is doing nothing. So the door does close now. Seems to be pretty good. The rear door catches a little bit. It opens and it closes. Obviously, that structure is pretty well finished there. We're going to build fillers for this area here on both the driver and passenger side. But when I close the door, if I swing hard, shuts nice, but the latch doesn't, you can see how when I open the door, it drops down like that. So when it's closed though, our body lines are dead nuts right there. So I think I'm going to have to live with that for the rear door. I guess for a rat rod, whatever, you can shut the door hard. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But what we're going to work on today and this week is building something back here. So let's get started. Okay, so again, moving in here. What I'm planning on doing is I'm just going to run a piece of bar stock from here to here. The problem is the body itself gets narrower as it goes forward. So I can't run a straight piece from here all the way up front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably make a template so that I can run a piece straight from the end of the wheel well here. I guess this would be part of C pillar, I guess, on the back door. From here to the B pillar. And there's going to have to be a little notch taken out of that piece of metal so that then it can bring it up here. Now, this is a nightmare down here. This is all still fiberglass and garbage in here, and this metal isn't all that great. So what I'm going to need to do, I think, is take some metal and I'm going to weld it to this kick panel here and weld it straight down, cut all this out because that still has fiberglass on it. And then when I bring that piece from the B pillar to the A pillar, I have something to weld it to. Now, the body is actually sitting pretty level on the S10 frame here. So what we're going to need to do then is after that goes lengthwise as the sill, then we will put some horizontal pieces across here from this sill all the way over to that sill when I'm done with it. So there is a ton of work to get done here, including cutting out all this old bad metal and fiberglass and the crap that was there. And then I got to make a template. And so, yeah, it's going to be a busy late night week. All right, so after some more sitting here thinking about it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in another one of these from back to front around the floor of the back seat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm taking some of this 3/4 inch, and what I'll do is run that straight vertical from here down to where the sill is going to be. And then I can weld this to the frame I've already got in there, and then I can weld the sill to this vertical piece here so that the sill is solid and connected to the body, because all of this, well, I mean, I don't even need a grinder to cut that out because it's, I don't know what they were thinking. They just threw a bunch of fiberglass in there and it's not even, it doesn't even have anything on it. It's just totally a nightmare. So we're getting rid of all that. So what we will start with is just, I'm going to cut this flush here, I think. and same up front. We'll make it level, and then we will weld a piece like this in and the vertical pieces to the sill. All right, well, here's where it rests at the moment. This is just unbelievable. I mean, this is a huge chunk of, like, I don't even know, some kind of epoxy maybe, plus the fiberglass on top of it. That's just sheets laid on top of metal. Just, I mean, they were very artistic, but it kind of makes me disappointed in the car itself. I thought I was buying something more than I mean, it's a good thing that I'm doing all of this, because boy, can you imagine trying to drive that car and it was put together like this? Definitely trash. So here's what we're gonna do now. Got all that cut away. I cut those other pieces here, which are going to plug in like such here, and then up front, up such. And then we're going to cut a piece of this square tube that I got here. This is rectangular stuff. I think it's 1x3. It's really heavy. I bought way too much of it, but I mean, it's definitely going to make the sills nice and strong. So I'm going to run this vertical down. It'll kind of come out to about here somewhere, and up to the B-pillar area here. Then what I will do is I'll clean this up at some point, and I'll connect it to that flat piece, horizontal piece there. And then we're gonna make some panels just like we made these other panels to put there and there. So, you know, while I'm cutting this, I'm wearing my respirator thing, but I do also have the filter running back there, and it doesn't take long to fill one of these up, that's for sure. So pretty nasty. Definitely don't want to be breathing that stuff. So what we're going to do now is fill that in, I think, is what I'll try. So I'll clean up some of this garbage here. We'll weld, tack on those vertical pieces and maybe a piece of the flat stock for the sill. Then I think what I'll do is I'll cut out this piece here, because I just have a tack on either end. And after those little tack welds are cut off the end, I will take the whole thing out, weld it solid, bring it back in, and weld it to the subframe of the floor here so that we can make our sill. All right, well, here's the deal. It's been legitimately an entire week since I even got a chance to do anything on the car. So I'm going to try and finish this side here, do the sill. You can see obviously everything's cut out. I've got my supports held in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack those on. I'm going to tack this piece on the bottom. And then once I've got it in the position that I like, I'm going to cut my 2 little tack welds off the top here, take this out, fully weld those supports to that, and then build some panels for the side and the top of it. And then I got to do the front part, and then I got to do all the passenger side. So, all right. Yep, that's the plan. Let's go do it. All right, so here's where it stands. So what you saw me do there is I shut the door, and that's actually the best thing I could have done right at the moment, because I hit that with this part of the door. That's where the sill is supposed to match up to. So what I did is I cut my tacks off on the sides, I pushed it back in. You can see here was my original mark out here, and I moved it back that far. So I don't know, it was like 3/8 of an inch. So now that I got that part in the position that I need, I'm going to make this square rectangle thing happen, and I will fully weld on all sides there. So I'm just going to cut these tacks again. I put my reference line there, so I will cut this out, weld it up, bring it back, put it in, weld in my piece here. I'm going to do just like I did in the back. I will put a 1/4 inch plate here for my body mount bolt there, and yeah, that's where it stands right now. So let's get that out and go weld it up. Okay, so we've got the rear door sill thing complete. This is rock solid. It's totally connected. I welded in my area there where the body mount's going to go. So I got a hole there, and I think I'm going to weld a bolt through. I'm going to put the bolt through, and I'm going to weld the head here so that the body mount can go under there, and then you just put a nut on from the bottom. That might be easier. The next thing that I got to worry about here is that is the gas tank there, so that is empty. So what I got to do is figure out where I'm going to put the filler neck. So I've been looking at it. I think what I'll do is I got it out of here. I think what I'm going to do. Yep. Okay, what we're going to do is cut that off. So there's just a little nub in here, and I'm gonna put it horizontally in like such in there. Not 100%. I've been staring at it for a while. I really don't don't know what to do with it. I don't really have anywhere else I can take it. I thought about going back here and then out somewhere in the fender area. But I don't know how to get at it. I can't really take it back up that way anymore, so I'm kind of at a loss. Anybody has any ideas, let me know. So what I'm gonna do now is, instead of worrying about that, again, future me problem, we're gonna cut this out here because, well, it's not much of it, and we're gonna go up there, start working on that stuff. I might put in a brace from this piece to here because I can't keep the ratchet strap in there if I'm gonna be working on that and cutting pieces out. So, I don't know, to be announced. All right, well, it's sometime later and I have to finally do this here. So what I'm going to do, let me scoot on my little stool over here. What we're gonna do, or at least this is my plan, I'm gonna get rid of all this because this is all that epoxy and fiberglass and it goes all the way up there along the kick panel. I'm going to cut all that out. I'm going to clean this metal up for what is left of the metal here. And I'm gonna get a piece of sheet metal and I'm gonna make a template and I'm gonna just put a piece of metal across this. Then I'm gonna take maybe some of this square tube and I'm gonna put a piece vertical in there somewhere, maybe up here front, I'm not sure. And then the kick panel will be secured around the perimeter with the sheet metal, and then this vertical piece here will be able to connect to the bottom of the sill. And, you know, I don't know, hell, I can probably just wiggle that off of there. So we'll see. I'm gonna rip this out quick, clean that up, cut a piece of metal, put it on there. See what happens. Kind of scary what the other guy's willing to do. Well, not gonna lie, I got pretty frustrated cutting this stuff out. There's nothing there. I mean, I'm glad that I did it now because I can't even imagine driving a car that was made out of that epoxy garbage fiberglass laid on top of rust. It is amazing what people will do. Anyways, I'm calling it tonight. I just got frustrated. I cleaned that panel up there as much as I could. And I just don't have enough time, I think, is what it comes down to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a panel for that. And like I said, cover it, vertical piece, connect to a sill, which is currently non-existent, between point A and point B, weld it into that. And I don't know, we'll see when that happens, not really sure. Had to have a beer, and fortunately it's called Evil Genius. Because it's going to take an evil genius to figure out how the F I'm putting this back together. So, anyways, just kind of frustrating because it seems like all I bought when I got this car was a stinking roof and some doors. That's basically it. The rest of it's junk. So, I'm going to clean up in here, grill some dinner. Don't think I'm going to get back after it tonight. And I don't even know when I'm going to be able to start working on this again. I'll keep you posted. I do appreciate everybody watching. I know that I haven't been posting for the past couple weeks because of tournaments, out of town, all that kind of stuff. So I will catch up with you next time. Hopefully, when I do catch up with you, we will have fabricated our sill there and connected it to the A-pillar so that we can open and close the doors. And then once I'm done with that, passenger side gets done, then I can lift the body off the frame again, finish up the stuff on the frame that I need to do, like move that giant mess of stuff back about 10 inches. So that's where we're leaving it. Again, like I said, appreciate everybody coming back. Catch up with you next time.